Dragonites, how is everyone doing this evening? I hope everyone is having an awesome weekend. If not, you know what to do. Go get yourself something cool. All right, today I'm going to do this video using the mini Christmas set from One Day Saving, which I unboxed for you in a previous video a couple of days ago. Now, I'm going to start with a disclaimer. I do not know all there is to know about square drills. Why? Because I don't really like square drills. They're not my favorite. I don't hate them any longer, but I don't love them either. I prefer round drills, and when I have a choice, I always purchase round drills. However, most of the time, especially the mini kits, are going to come in squares. Now, that doesn't make it a bad thing. Square drills are a little bit tinier than the round drills by about like 0.2 millimeters, centimeters, itty bitty little marks. And so I think one is like 2.1 and one is 2.8, 2.3 or something like that. So yeah, not a lot of difference. You can look it up if you want to. Google will be happy to tell you exactly the size of diamond painting drills, square or round, or at least what they're supposed to be. That being said, I have done square drills. I have done some square canvases. I happen to like a lot of the artwork that seems to come out only in squares. I don't know why. It's just typical of my karma, I guess. But we're going to talk about square drills. I'm going to show you the two most popular ways of doing square drills. You are welcome to investigate, experiment, ask questions. And if you are watching this video and you are a veteran diamond painter, meaning you've been diamond painting over a year, let's face it, okay? It doesn't take a long time to be a veteran diamond painter. It's not brain surgery, it's diamond painting. And the newbies have questions in the comments, please feel free to help them out. You know, answer the question if you can, because we all know what it was like to be new at this craft or this hobby. It takes a little bit of doing. So remember back to when you were just starting and, you know, see what you can do. Okay. Now, the first thing is, I have not done square drills from One Day Saving, so this is going to be an experiment for me as well. You want to get the best quality square drills you can possibly find. If you've never done square drills before, I'm going to recommend that you start with a square drill canvas from a premium company. Not that they don't sometimes have terrible drills, but it's unlikely, okay? When you buy from a budget-friendly company and it's a square drill, oh, you'd never know. They might be okay, or they might ruin your entire day, and you won't know until you get it. So, you know, you're taking a chance. So, all right. Now, first of all, we're gonna talk about, let's see. We're gonna talk about the maybe this one. We're going to talk about the checkerboard method of applying drills. That's what we're going to talk about first. To that end, though, first we're going to talk about when you pour your drills, because that's when diamond painting with squares really starts, is when you pour your drills into a tray, okay? So you'll notice here on this canvas that we have a number of colors in these three little gifts that are on this canvas. So I'm going to start probably, I generally work left to right because we read left to right. Also, by working left to right, when I'm doing a large canvas, I'm right-handed. I don't get my hands in the glue. Whereas if I went right to left, I technically could, you know, do them from the border in, and that way I'd be touching drills already placed and not the glue. However, I just find it easier with these littler ones to kind of start, you know, on the side. So I'm probably going to go ahead and start with probably O and A, because that seems to be a large part here. So, okay. So I'm going to start by pouring some letter O drills into my little tray. Let's see. These are O. And you can see the drills, what they look like. I will say that when you do square drills, you do get a lot more detail in your painting, which can really be a wonderful thing, especially if you're working on something large and you really want as much of the dimension as possible to show, then you definitely want to do that. So, you know, it's a nice thing to have. You don't see any of the background of the canvas that's behind the drills when you do squares because they are covering up the canvas and the marks on the canvas, so they lock together nicely, or they're supposed to. But the first thing you want to do when you get your drills into the tray is, when you're working with squares especially, any that you can see that are already a problem, like this one up here, if you look really close, I'll try to get uncomfortably close. See that little tag on there? There's a little piece of plastic on that drill. You don't want to put that on your canvas because you're going to run into problems trying to get the other drills to get on board next to it. It won't be able to scrunch together because there's a little piece of plastic on the drill. So that's going to be a trash drill. So I'm going to take that out. Okay. Now, when you can get them to line up and they look pretty good, okay, then you are ready to put them on the canvas. So first thing we're going to do here, try to get you down here a little bit more so you can hopefully really see. I mean, the light isn't fantastic, but you know, we're gonna try and get this done. Okay. Let me get you a little bit closer probably. Okay. So the checkerboard procedure when you're putting down square drills is as follows. Another thing you should do is try to place your drills next to you in the way that you're going to be applying them onto the canvas, okay? So, when you're doing checkerboard, you're going to take your drill, and my suggestion is pick a corner and line up the corner of your drill with the corner of the space for the drill on the canvas, okay? Voila. So you see, you want to try to be as straight as you can. Now, when you're doing checkerboard, you want to skip every other one so that you literally look like you're doing a checkerboard. This will help keep your drills straight, because once you do the checkerboard for, you know, anywhere from a couple to several spots on your canvas, then you're going to come back in, you're going to fill in the blanks, and when you do that, it should go together nicely. Doing the checkerboard helps keep your drills straight and ready for each other, okay? Now, if you go along here and you realize, oh man, I screwed that one up terrible. Okay, that's all right, because you can always go back and take your tweezers, remove the drill, and place it back on. No harm, no foul. Okay? So, that's our first line. Okay? See? Every other one, like a checkerboard pattern. That's how it gets its name. Then, you're going to get ready to start the next line. So, again, you're going to do every other one, except I forgot the first one. Okay. Oh, I need some A drills. Yeah, here's some A drills. And with each color, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to pour them in. You're going to try and get them to line up as best you can. Try to eliminate any trash before you begin. It will save you worlds of problems, okay? Those don't look terrible either. Okay. And again, these are A. So you just continue on down. Sorry for all the background noise. You know, that's a lot going on at my house. It's the weekend. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so you're going to continue to place them in your checkerboard pattern. Okay, I do see a couple of problem drills already. What I'm discovering is there are some of these drills that are slanted kind of oddly. Not a lot, but you're going to need to look out for them. Because, again, it will mess you up when you try to go back through and add the rest of them. Yeah, not going to be comfy cozy around here with these drills. A lot of them are just a problem. So... all right, so you get to a point like this where you have, come on camera, where you have checkerboarded your drills. Okay, there's the dark green and there's the light green. And you've got every other one. Now D would be the one in the middle here that I still have to add. But I'm just going to do this little bit and then I'm going to kind of show you how it turns out when you're, you know, doing this method in theory anyway. So I'm just going to do these other two lines. So, yep, how's everybody doing today? That's my question. I hope you're having a good day and you're, you know, getting excited for Christmas and the season, which is getting here so quickly, you guys. Oh my goodness. Letter C. I also need, okay. Okay. So, now I know this is, a lot of people go, why would you do that? Okay, so what I'm doing is I have a third color that I need to complete this little section. And so I'm not pouring these. Now I don't recommend this, especially with square drills, but I don't need a whole lot, and I've already got two colors in two different trays, and it's a recipe for messing up your drills by trying to put the wrong color back in the wrong container, and boy, do you find it out when you throw them in there and they don't match the rest, and now you got to fish them all out and redo them. And talk about a royal pain. Oh my gosh, is it a pain? So I don't recommend doing this, but I don't want to have a third color in a third tray and then try to figure it out, especially since there are 3 shades of the same color. There are 3 shades of green. And yeah, I don't need that much of a headache, you guys. So I'm gonna continue to checkerboard here. Now, when you're working on large spaces, you know, this might not be your favorite way to handle it, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be. This is just, you know, as I said before, one method for doing square drills. Now, after I finish this section, the next section, if I could say it, it would help. The next card I'm going to show you how to do some ruler work. Now, if you've not used a ruler before, I would recommend that you get a set. I was not a big ruler fan, meaning I didn't think when I first saw them I was going to be inclined to use them. And I don't always with rounds. It kind of depends on what I'm looking at. But let me tell you, when I work on squares, oh yes I do. And it was a suggestion to me by another diamond painter and who uses squares all the time. And I thought, I am not going to enjoy that. There is no possible way that that's going to work for me. Well, apparently I was fibbing to myself because, oh yes, it did. It did quite nicely, and I was very happy that it worked as well as it did. So, yeah, that's you know where we are with that. Now again, the letter D, there's only a few of them on here, And so, and only 2 of them are, you know, supposed to be put down right here in the first part of the checkerboard. So I will just go ahead and plug those in while we're talking about it. Now, the lighter colors too, I will tell you, it's easier to place them on the board and get them a little more straight because it's easier to see. The darker colors, if you're on a dark color, and especially if it's a dark color and it's a color saturated canvas, they can be really hard to see. But, you know, yeah, do the best you can. Again, this is not brain surgery. And don't over sweat it. You're supposed to be enjoying this. If it's stressing you out, then don't do it that way because there's no reason to be stressed out by it. Okay? All right. So here we are. This first little piece of the present is done in a checkerboard pattern. Okay, so you can see just every other one all the way down. Now I'm going to go ahead and start plugging in some of these. If I'm lucky, you'll hear that nice chunk that you get. It's a nice soft chunk that you hear when you're diamond painting with squares. And that means they fit together perfectly and all is right with the world. So, you know, listen for that. Now, you don't always get it. Why? Well, because sometimes they're not exactly perfectly aligned together, or I've also found it depends on the tip you're using. Some tips for diamond painting make a better clunk and chunk than others. I like these. These happen to be the Diamond Art Club, but I like metal placers in general. I find the ones that do make the sound the most often are the little bent placers. And, oh, especially these little metal cat-eared ones. And I don't know if that's because of the way the putty or the wax fits in there, but these I hear much more often than I hear with these. Now that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the regular brass tips. They do just fine as well, and you'll often get the pop with these too. And again, people experienced in doing square drills can tell you way more about that than I can. I'm just explaining what my experience has been, okay? So once you have your checkerboard in whatever section you're working on, you have your drills ready to go, then you start filling in the other parts of the checkerboard, right? And you just fill them in and keep them kind of, you know, keep watching them as you go. If you see some that could be closer together, smush them in there. Now, if you don't have good drills, and did you hear that little clunk? That was what I was talking about. If you don't have good drills, or they're not all the same size or close enough, or they're not aligned properly, what'll happen is you'll get a couple of rows filled in, and then you'll come back and try to fill in the row next to that one, and you won't be able to squish it in no matter what you do, because there's not enough room because of how close square drills have to fit together. So that gives you a clue whether or not you're off to the races or whether you need to go back and redo some stuff. Okay, now that whole row I only got one clunk, but you see by doing the checkerboard, you know, making it, you're basically making an outline and then filling it in. But you can see how nice and even that you can get them by doing a checkerboard. Now, does this mean you can't multi-place? Not at all. You can always multi-place. That's not a problem. And if you have a short section, okay, like the ones next to the section I'm working on, this little group of ones, there are 7 ones here. I might, because I have a metal placer of all sizes of multi-placer, I would probably go ahead and get my 7 placer and just put all of these at once. And if you'd like to see that, I'll do that too at the end. But I would try to do a whole section at a time. Like up here, these are 3 sections, these ends. So you could get your multi-placer out and do some 3 sections. There's a 3 section here at the bottom. This one's a long one. I might, you know, checkerboard that, okay? So, yep, so this is what it means to do a checkerboard pattern with square drills. And again, I apologize, I'm not speedier with squares. Now, squares do take longer in general. Not because there's anything wrong with them. It's just the nature of the beast. You have to be more careful. You have to make sure they're aligned. You know, there's just more to it. And so that tends to take a little extra time. And that's okay, because what you should be doing when you're diamond painting is enjoying the process. That is the goal. If you're not enjoying it, then that's such a bummer. So, yeah, make sure that you are enjoying the process. Take your time. It's not a race. Doesn't matter how fast somebody else paints. That has nothing to do with it. In the end, you're both going to end up with a beautiful product. Who got there first is not going to be a factor. So you don't need to worry about how quick you're going. Okay? So yeah, and it really does help. To me, it helps a lot to have the guideline of, you know, having the checkerboard. And the nice thing is you can do that on any square canvas. You can do a checkerboard pattern. No matter if it's, you know, an easy to see canvas, or if it's, you know, got a lot of confetti, or if it's, you know, got a lot of color blocking. Any and all ways you can do a checkerboard pattern. So, yeah, so I really do suggest that you go ahead and give it a try, because I think that you're going to find that it's much easier to do. And I would say if you're new to square drills, I would try this. Try to get a feel for it, see what you think. If you find it frustrating, or you just plain don't like it, that's okay. You don't have to do it. And I'm going to show you the next method with the ruler that I think for me works the best. But again, it's really a personal preference. Dedicated single placers, you kind of have it made. You can literally do any ore for, you know, any type of way that you want to, and you're going to be in good shape. Now, for multi-placers, you know, again, it's a personal preference. What makes you the happiest? Do you want to, you have a heavily confettied canvas and you just want to have the ruler out and you just want to, you know, do it and be done with it? Or do you want to take the time, go slowly, checkerboard it out, and see what the end result is? Okay, I mean, and again, you guys, you know, you own this canvas, you purchased it. So whatever you do, there's no wrong way. Okay, that's the point I'm really getting at, which was a long way of saying there is no wrong way to do this. You need to do it the way that's most comfortable for you. But I'm really talking to you newbies on this, because squares can be a little daunting. And, you know, if you get 3 rows over and realize, oh man, I wasn't aligned, and now I can't put down row 4, you know, it's frustrating when you're new. Okay? It just is. And as you go along, you know, you want to get it in there, that's fine. Squish it in a little deeper. That's okay. You know, you just go right along and do your thing. Now, that didn't take me too awfully long to get this down. So, yay. And I will have to say, you know, good job, One Day Savings. These drills are actually not bad. Not bad at all. So that's a good situation. Okay, so you did the checkerboard, you came back and you filled in the checkerboard, and you should have something that looks a little bit like this when your drills are down. Now, these little ones that are over here, there are 7 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a multi-place of those 7, because I think it would be good for you to see that, you know, yes, you can actually do this. Remember, I am so not the square drill person, okay? It is not, they are not my forte. I do them when I have to, but yeah, not really something I want to spend a whole lot of time on, okay? So, okay, so you got your drills, you got them in your little tray here, and I have 2 7 placers. Let's see, which one do I want to use? I think probably this one. I think my putty is getting tired, but okay. All right, so you want to go and find where you have at least 7 drills, okay? And I would suggest a slight rocking motion. So you're going to set down here and you're going to go across 7 drills and bring them up. When you put them down on the canvas, same thing. Start at the beginning of your first square on the edge of it, roll them down and pop them up, okay? So I'm going to say probably this group. Okay, pick up your drills and roll them down. Okay, if they need a little squish up, squish them up a little bit once you put them down. Okay, so there you have one movement and you place 7 drills, right? So you don't always have to do a checkerboard, but I was giving myself a guideline by doing it that way. That's really the bottom line. I was able to do what I needed to do. Okay, now let's talk about rulers for just a minute, okay? If you've not used rulers before with diamond painting, you can get them in a variety of places. You can get them on Amazon, which will get them to you the fastest delivery that I know of. You can get them on Temu. You can get them on AliExpress. You can get them on in a number of places. So if cost is a thing for you and it's a huge thing, then I would say, you know, go ahead and you know, check out some of the places that have them available and then go from there. So what do they look like? Okay, well, if you're going to do rounds, there are a couple of different ones. So these are, well, let me show you this one first. Okay. This is, let me bring you up just a little bit. This is a plum blossom ruler or a flower ruler. You can see it's got little flowered patterns all over it. Okay, each of these little flowers fits 5 drills, right? So what you want to do is pretend this is a rounds canvas. You would line it up in accordance with your drill spaces. Now, there are 3 or 4 different sizes of these rulers. If you find that you're putting it down, it's not lining up, try a different size, because that usually means you just have the wrong spacing. And we're talking about nanometers of space. So, yeah. So let's look at this one down here. Okay, once you set it down, you'll notice, hopefully you've done this, where you have got, come on, focus, where you have got full letters, right? So like here's, whoops, sorry, my pen is leaking putty. Okay, so let me use these. These are easier to see anyway. Okay, so right here, where you can see the spaces, there's 2 L's and 3 N's. So what you want to do is you want to fill that in. Each one that you can see, you want to fill in. Equals, 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 FF. Okay? You fill in the little flowers. Then what you'll do is you'll remove it and you'll do the same basic thing. You will fill in the spaces between, because essentially what you're doing when you fill in these is all the places that have metal right now, those are also spaces for drills, and so they're not getting anything in it. So when you pick up your ruler, you're going to have little flower pattern everywhere. So you're going to have to, you know, go around and fill in all the ones beside it, which is fine, and you can do that, and it's no big deal. Okay, the other type that you have for rounds that happens to be my favorite, and you can get them in all different sizes and shapes, I like the mesh rulers. for a couple reasons. Number one, they're easy to see. They offer plenty of room. When you put it down on a canvas, you can see the entire canvas around it. Okay, now remember, this is a squares canvas and I'm trying to show you a round ruler. It's kind of silly, but okay. So when you use this one, hopefully you can see that, where all these little ends are, and you put your drills in, you don't have to go back and fill in the spaces. You get all of them this way. So it's a one and done. So when you use the mesh rulers, you only have to use it once. When you get all the drills laid down and you peel it up, they will be beautifully in lines, perfect, and you're finished with the section. You don't have to come back and fill in the spaces. And it will be beautifully spaced and right in a row and ready to go. If you're doing small canvases or you have an area that's just a little bit bigger than this one, you can get a tiny edge ruler. So you can do just the spot that this one doesn't quite reach, right? So you can put them on this way, right? So those are the mesh rulers. Okay. So those are the two types that you have for rounds. Now, what are we going to be using to demonstrate this? We are going to be using the ruler for squares. Now, does it look a little bit like a plum blossom? Yeah, a little bit, but instead of being little round sections, they are little square sections. Okay, kind of looks like a little cross, like a Templar cross. I have not seen mesh rulers made for squares. There may be some. I have not seen them. So we're going to use this one. So what we're going to do is, again, you're going to kind of hover it over. You're going to look for an area you can work on. I'm trying to get the area that I already have the drills for. That's because that's what I was already working on. Okay. And essentially, this is going to do sort of the same thing. Okay. Now, you can see how that looks much better. Okay. So you've got your A's, your N, your O, A's, O, and C, C's and a D, C's and an A. Yeah, you want to make sure you don't forget to change your colors when you still want to put down the correct drill. This one's all N's, that one's easy. Okay, so you're going to do all of these that you can. Now you will notice it starts to get off kilter as it gets over further. And you can put these vertically or you can put them horizontally, entirely up to you. So I'm just gonna show you a few rows here. And then when we take it off, we'll talk about that on the other side. So, and these you don't have to do, you know, in every other one. You don't have to checkerboard because you're putting it in there, and so you know, you just fill them in. That's all you have to do. So, oops, hold on, that's the wrong place. And then when you screw up, you got to fix it. It's so much fun. Okay, grab the wrong one. So let's try that again. That's the O I'm trying to do. There we go. And hopefully, you know, you might even hear them click in, which is nice. It's always fun to hear the click. You'll see what people, when they talk about, oh, I love the sound of that fitting together. Yeah, it's a great sound. So if you're lucky enough to get that little click chunk thing that it does, yeah, it's very satisfying to hear that like that when you're working. So yep, that's the news that's fit to print. And again, there may be a lot of other ways, and I would encourage you to talk to other diamond painters that have, you know, like particularly people who love squares. There are people that I'll never understand that love squares, and I seek them out whenever possible. So I would ask those people, you know, what do you do? How do you do it? Oh, did you hear the chunk? Yeah. You get that a lot with the ruler. And just say, you know, I'm new. I'm a newbie. I'm new to diamond painting. And can you tell me, you know, what's the secret to squares as far as you know? Let them tell you what they do. You probably will learn a lot, and it's probably going to be, you know, interesting, and you'll find out a bunch. I really do think in terms of resources, other diamond painters are your best bet, because you can find out not only the ins and outs, but if they need to, how they circumvent those ins and outs, which is, you know, I think always handy to know, because why not, right? Yeah. So, yep. So that's all you have to do is you just fill in the pattern as best you can. And hopefully you're getting that little crunchy click and you know, ooh, I got that spaced right. Yep, that's the beauty of the crunchy click, is that you know you're in the right format system here. Okay. Let's do some let's do some A's. So, yeah. So let me know in the comments, do you guys like to just, you know, have scary movie Halloween nights? Do you have trick-or-treaters that come out? Do you take somebody trick-or-treating? Like, what's your jam for Halloween? Because, boy, it's getting here fast, fast, fast. And, guys, wherever you live, don't forget to vote. The election is upon us. And there's a lot on the line, so go make your voice heard. And be very thankful that you live in a country where you can still do that. There are not a lot of them left. So, yeah. So, do that. Also, if you're working along and you're having trouble with a drill, check it. Because chances are, if it's not fitting in the ruler correctly, there is probably something wrong with it. Yeah, this one had a little tag, a little tiny micro tag that you can hardly see with the naked eye, which is why it wasn't going in. So that's what I mean. Sometimes you can't tell, but the ruler will tell you. So if you're working right along and all of a sudden you're struggling with a drill, yeah, there, hear the chunk? Then probably there's a problem with the drill. So it's good that you get an opportunity to see that once in a while. And that's true. You can be working on a premium canvas and you can have terrible drills. But again, it's more unusual. So, and if it's your first time trying square drills specifically, words are hard tonight. I don't know why. Then yeah, try to get as high a quality of canvas and drills as you can, because that will add a lot of, you know, joy and entertainment to your diamond painting experience. And, you know, rather than be nothing but a world of frustration. So that's my advice. But these are my two favorite ways of doing squares. I would ask other people. Ask the people, say, hey, you know, do you actually do, you know, multi-placing with your squares, your square drills? And if so, what do you find is the best method? And listen to them, because I'm telling you, invaluable resources are your friends that also diamond paint. They will have stories to tell you. And the beauty of this ruler now, I hope you're noticing what's going on. The beauty of the ruler is that you don't have to worry about whether you're getting your square drills straight if you're using a ruler, because the ruler makes you put them in there straight. So if you're using a ruler, then chances are you are getting them in there straight. Now, can you get it in there screwed up? Okay, yeah, you can work at it, and you can probably get it in there screwed up, but way less likely, and you're way more likely to be getting them the way that you need them to be. So keep that in mind as you're working along. And you just know that at the end of all of this, it'll be a beautiful moment when you can just pick up the ruler. And we're going to do that too. I'm going to show you what that looks like too here. I'm just going to do a few of these rows, because sometimes you'll be able to jam a crappy drill in there, and then you go to pick up the ruler and it stays in the ruler instead of staying on the canvas. Okay, that's your second opportunity to remove a crappy drill. Whether you do or not, it's kind of up to you, but you have an opportunity to do that. So, yeah, I would, if I was having one that was maddeningly annoying, I would take it out and look at it closer, because I don't want to finish a project and know that there's a crappy drill floating around in there when I could fix it now and have it be a done deal. So, you know, that's, for what that's worth, that's my advice to you. So, yeah. Normally I wouldn't have this many drills out because, like I said, it's really easy to get them confused. And oh, that can be such a nightmare. I have done a few times where I have mixed up the drills because I wasn't paying attention like I should have been, and I had multiple drills out. And I went to put them back and was kind of in a hurry because I needed to move on to something else, you know, or get back to real life or whatever it is. And boy, was I an unhappy camper. Holy cow. It took me hours to separate them out. And you kind of have to. I mean, you can try not doing it and working around it, but inevitably something's going to happen. Either you're going to accidentally start putting the wrong color out when you were supposed to try to work around it, or maybe what you're going to do is run out of the other color that you've got mixed in with the wrong color. It's just, you know, choose your nightmare, right? So my advice is just, you know, go ahead and take it out. If you know you've got an issue, just take it out. Don't make everyone's life harder, especially yours. So that is my sermon for today. But I think, in my own opinion, is when you use rulers, it's more of a peace of mind thing. Because I know once I fill the ruler up, I know they're ready to go. If they have fit in the ruler and everything's good, then when I pick up this ruler, it's done. I don't need to do anything with it. I just move on to the next area, you know, or I move into filling the blanks, or, you know, the blank spots around them or whatever. And my outline is already on there. It's festive. It looks cute. You got little flowers just that you've made with your ruler by putting the colors down. So, I mean, you know, it's really, to me, it's a relief to know that I don't have to pick up this ruler and then, you know, come back and straighten everything up and then make sure everything's good so it fits in the next line like that. That's not something I like to have to mess around with. So, yeah. So that's my sermon for today. Is just, you know, I think especially if you're new and you want the peace of mind of knowing that when you set your drills down, everything is nice and even and lined up where it needs to be, then start with rulers and do the checkerboard later when you're feeling more confident, if that's what you want to do. You know, and really this is the time when you dedicated single placers really shine, because you can do equally well with either one of these techniques. It's not even a thing. Just whichever one you want to do will be fine, because you're not worried about trying to multi-place and keeping everything in line. So, yeah. So I would say that, yeah, either of these would be the way to go. And it needs more putty. Let me get this other one. So that is, you know, my advice for what it's worth. If you're new and you're worried that you're not going to get them down straight, then take the worry out of the equation and go ahead and use the ruler to start with. And then when you're more confident and you feel comfortable and you're more familiar with squares, then come back in, take off the ruler, and give checkerboarding a try. See which one you like the best. There are people who literally do just one of these techniques and, you know, they don't change off, and that's okay. There's no wrong way to diamond paint. The way to diamond paint is exactly how you like to diamond paint. So whatever you will enjoy more is what you should do. because it's not meant to be stressful. So if one of these techniques is stressing you out, okay, then that's not the technique for you. Moving along to the next technique, you know, just go for it and see what happens. You might find, you know, halfway through, maybe you're going to start with the ruler and think, oh, wow, this is great. I'm really enjoying this. And then, you know, 5 or 6 blossoms later on this ruler, you go, okay, bored now, not really wanting to continue this. Okay, well, then take the ruler off and try single placing some of the stuff, or try multi-placing. You know, you do whatever's best for you. And I kind of envy you guys that are newbies, because discovering what that is, what is right for you, is really, to me, that was half the fun. You know, the act of diamond painting itself, diamond painting is not difficult. It's not supposed to be difficult. So, you know, you get to play with it. You get to experiment a little bit. You get to try to find out, you know, hey, where can I, you know, find my happy spot? Is this the area? Is this the time that, you know, I find out that, wow, I really like rulers. I'm going to stick with these. In fact, I like it so much, I'm going to try rulers on rounds. Hey, awesome. Congratulations on finding out that you are a ruler person. That's great. And may you and the rulers live a long and happy life, diamond painting. If you find out that, okay, I don't need this piece of steel in my way, I'm trying to place drills, and, you know, this is annoying me. Okay. Well, congratulations for finding that out, that clearly you are not a ruler person. Okay. Again, the end results are likely going to look very, very similar. So it's strictly a preference on how you feel, which technique you feel makes your work come out the best. That's really all you're trying to get across, is which one. Which one serves your purpose? And once you discover that, the sky's the limit. Then you know. Maybe you're going to find out that, you know, confetti heavy canvases, I don't want to deal with the ruler. It's a pain in my behind. But when there's color blocking, oh yes, because I want those huge sections of color blocking lined up. And never the twain shall meet. Okay. It all is fine. You just need to figure out what you like to do. And once you discover that, there will be no stopping you, which I kind of love. I kind of love that diamond painting offers that to all of us. You know, we get to find our niche and run with it. And how awesome is that? I'm just saying. So that would be my suggestion to you. And again, you know, like with some of our renders, right? Which don't look at all like the artwork, and you go, oh, God, I don't know if I want to spend my time on that, because I don't know how this is going to turn out. Okay, that's a legitimate concern. But also, there are times, and experienced diamond painters will tell you this, sometimes you just have to trust the process to turn out the way it's supposed to, even though you have doubts when you start. That's okay to have doubts, but give it a shot, because you never know. This was never more true for me than when I just finished doing Diamond Painting with Jack's event earlier this year, when she did What Was I Thinking? I mean, I had a canvas that I went, oh, yeah, no, this is a pixelated mess. It's going to be nothing. But, you know, because she had that event, I said, well, I should have thrown this out, but, well, it fits the bill. So I did the canvas. I actually really liked it. And I'm telling you, it was on its way to the trash, because I was just disgusted with it. So, you know, give yourself an opportunity to trust the process. Okay. So here, hopefully you guys will be able to see this. Okay. So here's the section that I did. All these little flowers, right? Okay. The ones you can't see the numbers and letters, those are the ones I did. Okay. So, and don't forget to do your borders, okay, when you're working here, so that you can get a start on some of those other areas. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to gently bend your ruler. And if you start to pull it off and you see that there are drills that have stayed in the ruler, try and push it through. Give it a chance to get down there. If it won't stay at all, you probably have a dud for a drill. It should come off fairly easily too. It should not be a struggle to remove it, okay? Ta-da, ready to use again. Okay. And there, you see you got little plum blossoms? Yes. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go through and you're gonna put the drills in between the ones that you've already placed. And then this whole section right here will be finished when I fill in the blank. And I've got these nice little flowers in here, these little crosses, to tell me where I need to put them in and where I don't, right? So I will say this right now. These drills that I have gotten from One Day Saving are pretty nice. I'm surprised and pleasantly surprised and very happy to see that they're really nice drills. I've had, I think, 2 or 3 drills that were trash, and that's a lot that I've put down, and you know, I've had very little trash. So you know, I would say if you like this set, and it is an adorable set, I think you should get it. Anyway, so yeah, and if you want to try diamond painting rulers, I'm going to recommend to you, let me bring you up here a little bit, to get a set that includes square ruler, a plum blossom ruler, and a mesh ruler, so that you can try all 3 and see which one is your poison. I mean, I ordered, whoa, sorry everybody, I just threw you away here, hold on. I ordered a set, and one of the reasons that I ordered the set is because it came in this nice case, and so I have a case to put my rulers in, and they're always next to me. If I take an art dot container, if I'm going to be, you know, out of town or something, then I just close this up and stuff it right in so that my ruler's always with me. So that is how you go about using diamond painting rulers. I will admit that I use rulers all the time with squares, all the time, and rarely do with rounds. I just don't. Now, sometimes I'm working on a canvas of rounds and I absolutely want to use it because either it's an intricate pattern and I want to make sure that everything is placed right so it doesn't look like a mess, a hot mess for me to fix with my straightener when I'm done. So then I just, you know, pull out the rulers, pick a section and go to town, you know, and it's fine. And you can see how easy it is to just go ahead and fill in the blank, you know. You've already got a guide for you because you've already got some of the drills in, right? Because thanks to your ruler. Yeah, you just fill in the blank and, you know, you go for it. I think it's unbelievably fun. And if you need to scooch something around because something slides, yeah, scooch it. You might find that you get a canvas that has too much glue, or the glue wasn't dried enough when they placed a cover on the cover sheet on, and so it's a little bit slippery. So, okay. If that's the case, one way to circumvent that is use a ruler. Because you're going to set your ruler down, and that's going to keep your drills from sliding around because you're going to just fill in the spots on the ruler. As long as the ruler stays down, you're in good shape. If you have trouble getting your ruler to stay down, that's a really difficult canvas to work with. I mean, the glue would be considered really bad at that point. So, you know, keep it in mind. There are variables beyond your control. Sometimes it's a drill quality, sometimes it's glue, you know, sometimes it's creases. I mean, to me, you know, squares aren't my favorite anyway, so if I get a square drilled canvas and it's full of creases, ugh, you know, it just makes me want to pull my hair out because that is the worst. It's already going to be more time consuming because it's a square versus a round. And, you know, if you have decent drills, the last thing you want to do is, you know, deal with something like that. It's so frustrating. So that is how it's done, people. So you can see I filled in all the O's in this middle section right here, right? So I still have some A's and some C's and some D's, okay? But you can see how it's starting to look like a picture of a present, right? So, yep, that is the secret to square drills as far as I can tell you. So again, if you have questions or, you know, you're new and you'd like more information, you know, leave me a question in the comment section. I will do my best to answer it. If I don't know the answer, I will try to find one for you. But again, if you are a creator and you've got experience with square drills, please share any and all of your tips and tricks for using square drills that I haven't, especially if there's some that you use all the time that I haven't mentioned here, because I want, you know, the people that are new to diamond painting to have a good experience, because if you have a good experience with diamond painting, that's when you'll stay with diamond painting. If you do nothing but get frustrated and are dissatisfied with your end result, how likely are you to do that again? Not very. So I'm just cleaning up some putty that got left here on the canvas. So that is what I have to tell you about drills. Again, if you are enjoying this mini set, and I will show you really quick, you know, what else is in the set. It's adorable images, and these are large images. Think 5 by 7, okay? So you have a choice of frames that you can get for these, and that just depends on, do you want to trim it? If not, there's nothing wrong with it in a 5 by 7 frame. If you want to put it in, you know, a 3 by 4, you can cut it here, put it in a 3 by 4. If you want to put it in 4 by 6, you know, you can do that. So it's entirely up to you and how much trimming that you want to do on it. I think the colors are beautiful. The symbols are very easy to read. They were nice enough to put light on dark and dark on light so you can see them. There are not duplicates here. They're all numbers and letters. There are a few lowercase letters. Mostly it's capital letters and actual symbols and numbers. So yeah, not difficult to read. I mean, you can see that the drill field is very clear. Like there's no problem here. So, all right, everybody. I know that was kind of a long video, but I wanted to be thorough. Again, if anybody has a secret place where they get their rulers that are good quality, if you get the mesh rulers, which again are my favorite to use, get a couple when you start because they do wear through pretty quickly. I mean, those are very fine little lines between the spaces. So eventually they're going to break. So get a couple when you start, okay? All right, everybody. Again, this is the set. Has also, besides the packages, because this set has 16, which is a lot of canvases for one set, has a snow globe, has a stocking with candy cane and some greenery, reindeer, here's an elf, here's a little gingerbreadish house looking thing here, some ornaments hanging from a branch. Says Merry Christmas, and I think that's mistletoe maybe, or holly. Not sure what this one is, but it's cute. I'll show you that. Probably when the drills get on it, it'll be obvious. I just don't know right now. Okay, snowman. Very cute. These are mittens with some greenery. Some little gold bells with bows on them and some greenery. There's a Christmas tree with a little birdhouse on the top. And here's Santa Claus himself. Merry Christmas, Merry Xmas with a poinsettia. This is a wreath with a big red bow and some ornaments. And we're back to the snow globe. So, and of course this one with the little packages. So you can head on over to One Day Savings if you're interested in this particular set. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Again, if you have questions on anything to do with what you saw in this video, whether it's the One Day Savings package, whether it's square drills, whether it's rulers, you know, leave me a question in the comment section. I will do my best to get that answered for you as soon as I can. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their day. Remember, always be a dragon. Spread your wings. Protect those you love. Have fiery passion. Stay strong, slay your fears, and always fly high, rise up, and soar. All right, Dragonites, have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.